Hey YouTube, it's Enosh, and we are going to be talking today about The Flash, Season 2, Episode 20, called Rupture. But before we do that, I have to address something that is very, very cool. And that is 2 weeks ago, I put up this very simple little video about who I thought, who my theory was for being the man in the Iron Mask. And you guys have just responded like crazy. And I can be nothing but humble and thankful and say, wow. I mean, the video's got now over 500,000 views. And now like 2,500 people have subscribed. I never thought that would happen. I'm just a guy sitting here making some videos about the stuff that I love. And I am humbled. And I just want to say thank you to everyone out there. If you've subscribed, thank you so much. I hope that you enjoy the channel, and I hope you enjoy some of the things that we do going forward. And with that being said, I do want to say a special shout out to Keon Good for Life. And he's out there, and he messaged me on one of the videos this week and said, hey man, I've been a viewer since you had 126 subscribers, and will you give me a shout out? And absolutely, I'll give you a shout out, man. So Keon Good for Life, keep it real, and thanks so much for watching. Thanks for being with me from that time, and thanks to all of you who are now subscribers. And let's go on this journey together and talk about the things that we love. And with that being said, hey, let's talk about this episode of The Flash. Okay, so Barry doesn't have his powers, and he's kind of going through this inner struggle with whether or not he should go along with Dr. Wells and, you know, recreate the science experiment that turned him into the Flash in the first place. And he's kind of getting some pressure from Dr. Wells. You have to do this. You have to do this. And then Zoom shows up, and man, just everything hits the fan, right? And so, you know, all the police are threatened, and they don't know what's going to happen to them. And you got Cisco off in his own little adventure trying to rekindle with his brother, who he thinks that he vibed about, but come to find out it was actually the character Rupture from Earth 2. So, anyways, I'm not going to just bore you with all the details of what happened in the show. I just want to talk about a couple of things that I thought were very, very cool in this episode. Now, as much as I love this episode, there's just some weird, quirky things that seem to be happening here that I just don't get. And that one of them is like, so if your dad got out of prison and he was in prison for years and years and years, 20 some odd years, you don't ever call him or talk to him at all. I understand that he went off somewhere and whatever, but you don't ever just pick up a phone. And so, you know, they're having this conversation, and Barry's all like, hey Dad, by the way, since the last time I saw you, I've been to another Earth, and I fought this guy named Zoom, who turned out to be the Jay Garrick that we thought was a good guy, but he's not. Well, what's that, Dad? Garrick. Well, that's my mother's maiden name. Such just a throwaway comment that was made about Garrick being John Wesley Shipp's Henry Allen's mother's maiden name. It was kind of just strange, wasn't it? I mean, was it just me, or did John Wesley Shipp seem to really act kind of strange in this whole episode? Like there was something going on behind the scenes or something. Like he had reasons for keeping Barry from making the decisions that he needed to make, and it just seemed to be a little bit over the top for just being a concerned dad. Maybe it's just me. What did you read into it? What did you think? But that whole conversation just seemed a little strange, you know, when they just kind of throw the Garrick name in there. And then here's a question. Do you know any of your family? So if my grandmother's maiden name, I know my grandmother's maiden name, and, you know, there's got to be cousins, you would think, you know. I mean, I know that his dad's been in prison, but he hasn't had any contact with his family at all outside of his dad. I mean, even if some of them are dead, you don't know anything about your family history at all. So that was a little thing that kind of bugged me about it this week. But, you know, hey, I'm willing to dismiss it because this episode kind of gave me the frosted mini wheats of feelings. The adult in me says that maybe you should know your family's surname. But the kid in me likes it so much and is so excited that, hey, we're getting some movement on this, and his family's name is Garrick. So, long story short, they decide to go ahead with the experiment and try the whole thing over again to give Barry back his powers. And when they do that, Zoom sees it. And I like the fact that Zoom saw it, because I was like, how are you going to pull that off without Zoom being aware? But the whole time, my family and I are sitting there on the couch going, well, Wally and Jessica are going to get out of that room for sure. And we kept saying, they're probably going to get out of it just as the experiment's going down, just as everything is starting to happen, and they're going to get their powers. And that pretty much is what happened. Now, I'm going to link to a video that I did of my wife where I surprised my wife with a on-the-spot theory review kind of deal. And we talked about Wally getting his powers and kind of said that Wally might get his powers in a way like this, that there'd be an accident around the time that Barry was actually in the machine and trying to get his powers back. And that's what happened. Now, the addition to that is Jesse Quick. Looks like she's getting her powers too. We'll have to wait and see how this plays out in the next couple episodes and possibly into episode 3. But that's kind of where it's at. I mean, Barry went through the experiment and then all of a sudden he started peeling away and he was just gone. Now Barry's out there somewhere in time. We don't know where he is. We don't know what happened to him. I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out, how they get him back. Does Wally and Jessica and Jesse Quick have their powers? And are they going to be fighting Zoom? Man, I just can't wait. Are you a fan of this show? Do you like this show? What are your theories? You know, the one thing that I loved about my last video, just kind of blowing up the way it was people had all kinds of theories. You don't have to believe my theories. You don't have to like my ideas. That's okay. Some of you didn't like my ideas. That's all right. Hey, we're all in this together, and we all like The Flash, and we love this show. So, hey, leave your comments and your theories down there. I will answer as many of them as possible because, man, I didn't realize that you get so many emails when you get a big video like that. But hey, I will answer them if possible. And let's see where the rest of this season goes into next season. So this episode coming up was directed by Kevin Smith. And that's pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to that. Let me know what you think of that. What are your theories on what happens with Wally and Jesse? What are your theories about where he is? Where is the Flash? Where is Grant now? So where is he in time? How's he going to get back? I keep wondering if they're ever going to actually connect the dots with the Supergirl episode, but we'll have to wait and see about that, all right? So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.